and then I'll do the intro, and then we'll just go ahead and get right into it.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Okay, give me 5 seconds of silence, and then I'll do the intro. Oop. Oh my god.
Don't mind me.
All right. Okay, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bull in a China Shop, the best furry interview series on the internet, where we talk to all people in the furry fandom.
Damn fucking right it is.
That's right. We talk to all sorts of people from all different walks of life and kind of get their life story. And today I am here with the one, the only, the Chubbs, who
Hi.
So I've interviewed a lot of other people who are in the furry fandom, and they're also in different branches of the military. And I'm Navy, you're Navy, and you're the only Navy person.
Hooyah Navy.
Yes, exactly. Hooyah Navy. Drink to the foam. You're the only
Phone. Let's go.
I've had Army vets on. I've had Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Navy is the last branch I've had on the show. So saving best for last, obviously.
Well, clearly, and exactly, clearly we saved the best for last.
Yes. Yep. So yes, here we are. Here we are in this lovely space, surrounded by all sorts of water and fish, which is appropriate, because we're Navy. So
Exactly.
So we're actually technically in a submarine right now. It's only
exactly.
It's only fitting that we be here right now in this moment. But yes, how you doing?
Exactly. Not too bad, bud. Not too bad. How about you?
Hey, not too bad. Busy with work, and I know we've been talking about doing this interview for a little while now. It's nice to finally get around to actually
a couple weeks.
doing it. Yeah, so a couple weeks. Couple weeks.
I'm excited.
A couple weeks, and then of course, like I was gone at Denver, so out of town doing stuff, and then of course busy with a bunch of other random life things. So, but yeah, here we are, finally doing the interview, and yeah, I mean, would you want to tell people about yourself a little bit? I mean, who you are, where you're from.
I mean, chances are.
What else you want to say? I mean,
a good part of the community already knows who I am, but it's Itzchubbalump. Hi. My name is Itzchubbalump, but my friends call me Chubbs or Chubba. I'm a Twitch streamer. I do TikTok, and I'm on Twitter. Pretty much, you can find me anywhere under this name. If you look for that name, you're going to find me, essentially.
Yep. So it's.
But It's Chubbbalump with a Z, ITZ, Chubbbalump. But I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm a furry as well. When I'm Twitch streaming, I usually go by my avatar, Chubbs, which is a minotaur. And not unlike our friend here. However, I don't have a base yet, so instead you get big titty ying. So enjoy that.
Yes, which I'm sure the audience will love the big titty ying for this.
I'm sure they're fine with. I'm sure they're perfectly fine with me. Better be fucking fine with me. You hear me?
Don't touch my camera.
I can't not.
Leave the camera alone.
I can't knife hand. I can't.
You can't knife hand?
I can't knife hand with this model. But if I could, I would totally be knife handing the shit out of you right now.
That's not a knife hand. I can't knife hand either. So actually, no, I can. Here's a knife hand. Actually, that's the closest to a knife hand you can get right there, like this.
That's as close you're gonna get.
That's about it. Just your basic open hand. So I mean, for all the civilians out there who don't know what knife handing is, do you want to explain what that is? By the way, everybody, it's a forbidden thing. Like knife handing is forbidden. Like you're not allowed to do it. Not anymore. So
you're not supposed to do it. Yeah. Not anymore, anyway.
Yeah. I guess you want to explain what knife handing is.
Knife handing. So they say that when you point at somebody, like a normal point, you have one finger pointing at the person away from you, and four fingers pointing back at you. So the military, in all their wisdom, decided to make it into a knife hand, which is a flat palm, just extended straight out, very aggressive. Like, unfuck yourself, sailor. That usually happens on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to a point where there's a stigma associated with it, and it's just kind of it's frowned upon nowadays. It's seen as disrespectful.
Yeah.
I personally don't see the problem, but that's just me.
And I
have knife handed the fuck out of junior sailors on many occasions if I had to.
Yeah. No, I have knife-handed people, and I have been knife-handed, so it is very much still a thing. Yeah, you're not supposed to do it, but
Yes.
I sure as shit did it. Um,
It's one of those. At this point, it's more one of like those unspoken things. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to do it, but nobody talks about the people that do. So
yeah,
just fucking keep doing
yeah.
it.
So, since
So
we're on the,
if I recall correctly, what was your rate in the
so
Navy?
I was MC, which is
I'm trying to remember.
yeah, MC, mass communication specialist.
Ah, so this was the guy who'd be on the boats taking pictures of all the planes and getting
Yep,
runway footage and
yep.
doing special events for the crew on board the ship and stuff like that.
That was me.
I was a personnel specialist.
Ah, PS.
I was a
Okay.
personnel specialist, and basically, PS, and my basically PS also happens to stand for paper shuffler and pencil sharpener.
Yeah. So I
In
was.
case you couldn't tell, it's an admin type.
Yeah.
I was doing administrative work.
Yeah. So every time I turned in paperwork to get processed, you were the one who quote unquote lost it. Right into the paper shredder. Just take it from your desk and then throw it into the ocean. That's pretty much it.
That is a terrible thing to do, and I would never do that to somebody.
Of course.
Knowingly.
No, because you're of honor.
Knowingly.
You are a sailor of honor, courage, and commitment.
I'm a good sailor. I promise. I'm gonna be so good for you, Chief. I'm gonna do a good job.
But Chief, you said we could go home at 1600.
Them's the breaks, kids. Suck it up.
Yeah, it's like, well, we got field day now, so we're cleaning the office.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, yep.
So, you had what we would usually refer to as the cushy deployment.
Yeah, well,
You were able to just, you'd be in Bahrain getting your per diem and getting nice hotel and getting a sleep in a bed and things like that. You had the nice cushy deployments.
Yeah.
I did two tours on board a ship, and both of them, while they were let's be honest, deployments kind of suck, but they really weren't that bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have found when you're on a boat deployment, it is the little things that you miss the most. One of the biggest things that I missed, aside from my family, of course, was not having to wear socks everywhere. I wanted so badly just to take my fucking boots and my socks off every day I was on that fucking ship.
Yeah.
I just want to be comfortable, and you people will fucking let me.
I remember I had some Navy buddies that stopped by Bahrain and visited me when they were in port, and the first thing they did was they took their shoes and socks off and stood in the grass, and they just stood there. Yeah. And
exactly.
I just sat there and I watched them, and I was like, what? Like, what's the problem here? And they're like, I just want to feel the grass with my feet. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, yeah, so it's like, just footwear is a constant.
That right there is fucking based. I don't care what anybody says. That is based as fuck. Yeah, you know, because I was the same way. I on one deployment, one of my Liberty buddies, they wanted to get a hotel just for the day, and I was like, okay. And the minute I walked in the door of that hotel room, the shoes and socks came off.
Yeah, strip,
like,
strip everything. It all comes off, you know.
All right, I don't know how that turns out on the recording, but every once in a while my headset glitches because it's wirelessly connected to the PC.
Ah, no worries.
So on my screen, I get a little hourglass and everything freezes for a minute.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Anyways, but yeah. So I mean, deployments are both the best and the worst part about being in the Navy. Because when you're on deployment, you get to see and do things that your average civilian, your average person will not get a chance to do. I can say I've swam in the Red Sea. I can say I've rode a camel in the middle of the desert in Dubai.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like the things that people would not normally get to experience. I had the Italy in not Pompeii, Roma. Not Rome. That's Spain.
Naples.
What was it? Brain fart. Naples. Thank you. Yes,
Yep.
Naples.
Yep.
Best cup of coffee I've ever had in my life. Nothing else has come close to it so far.
Mm-hmm.
Just a random cafe on the side of the street in Naples, and I was just like, "Can I just have un cappuccino?" And they brought it out, and the best fucking cup of coffee I've ever tasted.
Yep.
So yes, there are good things about deployment, and you get to see and do things you will not get to experience under normal circumstances. But there is also times where it is hell on the ship.
Yeah.
Ships are cesspools.
What's that?
Like they are. It is a cesspool of germs.
Yeah.
Like it is to the point where when you get sick, you got the boat crud. That's what it was called. Like, hey, I caught the crud. I'm going to be in my rack today. That's pretty much how it worked out. But like, because you have 3,000 plus sailors, crammed into essentially a giant sardine can on the middle of the fucking ocean, and everybody touches everything 20 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you either kept hand sanitizer in your pocket at all times,
Yeah.
or you were probably going to get sick.
Yeah.
You were going to ask a question. I'm sorry, I rambled.
Oh yeah, no worries. So what years were you in the Navy?
I joined in 2011, and I separated and medically retired in October of this past year.
Nice. Okay, so we have similar career paths here. I went to basic training.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 12 years and 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
12 years and 8 months total.
12 years and 8 months. Was it all active duty, or did you do some reserve time, or?
Mm-hmm. Nope, all active duty.
Damn. So you didn't want to go the full 20, huh?
All active duty. Well, it's less of want and more of had.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if I think I've talked about this a little bit on my own stream, but basically, I was medically retired because, without getting into too many nasty details, the Navy kind of fucked me up.
Yeah. Well, same here.
Mentally,
yeah.
up here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was medically retired because I'm a little bit fucked up here. But thankfully, medical retirement, I get full benefits from the VA, I get full access to the base and the commissary and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 12 years, and but the problem was where it came in. Like, I've described this as much to my wife before. It was like a light switch for me, because I'm going through the process of determining if I'm still going to be staying in the Navy. And up until the point where that doctor said, I'm going to recommend you for medical separation, I was full 20. Gung-ho, Joe Navy sailor, do my full 20, collect my retirement check, and have the Navy pay my mortgage the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Basically was the plan. And the moment that she said, you got a lot going on, I'm going to recommend you for medical separation, it was a switch.
Wow.
Immediately, I was like, oh, relief. That's what that feels like. Okay, I want more of that, please. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a two-pronged sword for me, because a lot of my stuff was stuff that's been there for a very long period of my life that I didn't know about. I was late diagnosed with Asperger's and ADHD. I've got PTSD from the fucking military.
Mm-hmm.
It fucked me up in a lot of ways. Some of those we're not going to talk about today, but
Yeah.
I will say this: like, the Navy at the end of the day was like any other job, really. Yeah, there was a lot more expected of you. Yeah, there was a lot more pomp and circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you had to wear a uniform. And yes, you are expected to be crammed inside of a sardine on the middle of the ocean for 7 to 9 months out of the year, every couple of years. But as a whole, I enjoyed my experience in the Navy because I got to see things I would never get to see. I got to provide a stable lifestyle for my family for quite some time. I've learned things that I was able to carry with me into the civilian world, not as much as you might think, unfortunately, but still. But it was just like a light switch. Like, I don't have to fake it anymore. You know, like all They gave me all these late diagnoses, and it was like all of a sudden everything is just clicking into place. Oh, that makes sense because of X. Mm-hmm. That makes sense because of Y. It just all made sense all of a sudden, and it was just kind of like, oh, so I don't have to mask all day and pretend that I'm a functioning member of society. Got it. Yes, I want relief, please. Thank you. And it took about 1.5 years for the whole process to finish.
Wow.
And that had its own ups and downs as well.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm just grabbing something. But yeah, I mean, as a whole, though, I recommend it. Like, especially if you don't have like a wife and kids at home or a family. Like, if you're just single, you don't have a lot of direction. You don't have a lot of prospects at the moment. You're not, like, say, for example, you're like me and you didn't go to college and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The military is not a terrible option. It's going to be able to offer and do things for you that your average civilian job is not going to be able to do for you. Education and free insurance and health insurance and all that other medical care and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. You would get access to all those for the long as you're in the military. And if it's not for you, you serve out your 4-year term and you go home. That's it. Oh, there was. Oh, okay. Hi, baby. Sorry, that was my daughter.
Oh,
I almost hit her in the face. Look, it's the perils of VR. Anyways, but yeah, it was. If you don't have a lot going on in your life, it's not a bad option. If you are able to, if you're fit enough to join, go through the process, talk to a recruiter and all that stuff, they're gonna. I'll let you know now. They're gonna feed you a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
Over half of the things that my recruiter told me were not fucking true. But ultimately, and like I said, it's like any other job, because as long as you show up to work on time and do your job to the best of your ability, generally you're not going to have much problems. And at the end of the day, you're just going to go home.
Yeah.
It's only when you're on deployment that you pretty much don't get to go home unless you're attached to the ship.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother animal. Thankfully, I did my deployments as part of a squadron.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, so squad life on the ship is pretty plush, if you ask me.
I was gonna say, aren't you required to get 8 hours of sleep and all that, and pretty much do the
yes,
rules?
that's mostly for the pilots.
Ah, okay.
But when you are a squadron attached to a carrier, we are not ship's company, so we do not have an assigned general quarters station and stuff like that. For those of you watching at home, general quarters is the ship-wide alarm when there is a major issue or emergency. And when you're on a deployment on ship, you're doing general quarters drills, like just drills, at least once a week. Because we are part of the squadron and we do not have an assigned GQ station, you know what I call general quarters? Nap time. General quarters was nap time. Yes. Pretty much when the general quarters alarm went off, because you did not have a general quarters station, and they did not want you getting in the way of everybody else who's doing their job.
Yeah.
We were basically, wherever you were, you stayed there until general quarters was over. So whether it was your shop, your rack, the chow hall, didn't matter. Wherever you were, that's where you were going to be until general quarters was over. So yeah, we would normally know about general quarters drills and just be like, "Oh, I'm going to go get something out of my berthing." Oh no, the general quarters alarm. Guess I gotta stay here.
Yeah.
Take my coveralls off and get in the wreck.
So I have to ask, with general quarters, how many times were you in your rack and then a chief came by and said, "Hey, you gotta go to GQ. What are you doing?" Oh.
In a squadron berthing.
Oh, gotcha. I think you were cutting out there for a second, but
yeah, it's the headset thing. Only once, and that was because he did not realize that he was in a squadron berthing. And honestly, at that point, I had been asleep for like an hour. So when he knocked on my fucking rack, I just looked at him like, "No, we're squadron. No, go away."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So How many deployments? How
I
many
might need.
deployments do you go
I'm
on?
gonna
Taking a break.
pause that thought. No. Only already my Quest is saying my battery's low, so I gotta plug it in. 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. So that I'm close to where the cable is at. Okay. Yeah. I'm back, somewhat, kind of, maybe.
All right. Cool.
Where's my other? There we go. So I got to be sat down now so that I can be close enough to the cable to keep it plugged in.
Oh yeah.
So now means I got to come back over here, and I'll switch to stand. Wait, no, switch to sit. There we go. There we go.
All right.
Well, now what was I talking about?
I was just about to ask. So, like over the 12 years that you were in, actually almost 13 years. So, how many different ships were you on? How many deployments did you do?
I only did 2 deployments during my time. I did 9 months on the Truman, and I did 7 months on the Ike.
Okay.
That 9 months was rough. Like my wife will tell you, we arrived in our next duty station, Jacksonville, and exactly 28 days later, I went out for 9 months.
Wow.
Like we didn't have any time to get adjusted or really settled in. It was just kind of like, all right, well, we're here. Well, bye, honey. See you in 9 months.
Yeah. Hi, bye. Pretty much have fun managing
Pretty
the
much,
house
like
and the
that.
family and everything. So you're pretty much an East Coast sailor. Like so in the Navy we have like a couple of different terms. You have East Coast sailor, which is the American East Coast, and then you have West Coast, which is like pretty much San Diego, and then I guess California and Washington State. But
let's be honest, it's just San Diego.
Yeah, I was gonna say like pretty much everybody I know, they were down in San Diego for a good chunk of time.
Or Coronado, which is in San Diego.
Yeah, exactly. You get to watch the Navy SEALs run around on the beach and do their workouts and whatnot. So you were pretty much on the East Coast for a majority of your career.
For the vast majority of my career, I did do one station, we called it permanent change of station, or PCS.
Mm-hmm.
I did PCS out to California for one of my stations, and I was there for about 2.5 years, I want to say.
Wow. Okay.
But that was shore duty. I was part of a recruiting command for that.
Oh, so you were a recruiter for a bit.
I was.
So you said you did recruiting?
Sorry, it broke up again.
Oh, okay.
I was at a recruiting station. I was at a recruiting station. I did not do recruiting duty.
Okay.
Which is why it kind of ended up being kind of career suicide. Because I was there as admin support, and for some reason they decided to rate me eval-wise with the other recruiters and stuff.
Oh,
which didn't make any sense. So, like, that was career suicide because I could have been a complete and total shit hot sailor the entire time I was there.
Yeah.
And then when it came time for evaluations, they'd be like, "Oh man, you've done a lot of stuff. But that guy over there, he put 6 people in the Navy, so we're going to give him the EP."
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, like the evals make or break your career in the Navy, and you want to be like out of everybody that you work with, everybody that's your same rate and rank, you want to get the EP, which is early promote, and they only give that out to what, 1 or 2 people. I guess it kind of depends, but
it's based upon how many people are in the command.
That's true, yeah.
And that's basically however many people are in the summary group that they're doing determines how many EPs they can give out of that group.
Yeah. So if you want to get promoted in the
So
Navy, like the
a
thing is you
command
gotta
with
get
like,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. So like if you were at a command with like 5 other E5s with you, there might be one EP in that bunch. But then in another command where that's all by instruction and whatnot, which
yeah,
I've spent way too many times and way too much time looking at over the years. Way too much time looking at those.
yeah. I can only imagine
Eventually your eyes just start to cross.
yeah, yeah, because the sheet of
I
paper like
can't
right
read
here in
words
front of you
anymore.
all the times. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
say PSs and other admin types. Yeah, I can only imagine how many hours of your life were spent just like reading instructions over and over again.
Pretty much. I couldn't tell you how many times that happened.
Yeah.
Like and admin is always like the kind of like the unsung hero
Hmm.
sort of deal. Because when you're an admin, you're pretty much already resigning to yourself that you're not going to get any real recognition. Because ultimately, we're not the ones that are contributing to the mission itself. We're just making sure everybody gets paid.
Yeah.
And when everything goes wrong, it's admin's fault. But when everything goes right, nobody gives a shit about us.
Yeah. Yeah. The unsung.
Nobody, no
Seriously. Yeah.
awards,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
Hmm.
Pretty much, if you're going to be admin, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're not going to get a lot of recognition. Unfortunately. But I like helping people, and that's the part that was rewarding for me. One of the best parts of my job is when we'd have sailors come in who were experiencing some sort of issue with their pay,
Hmm.
and we were able to just figure out what's going on and know how to fix it. Which usually in the Navy is never an instant thing. It's just something that you're going to end up having to wait for. But knowing the process to fix those things is the first step.
Yeah.
And we would get these problems sometimes where it's like, I've never encountered this before. I have no idea how to fix this. I'm going to need to read through like 20 different instructions and make like 7 different phone calls to figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah. And then things get really serious, and you have to go talk to legal and ask them.
Nobody wants to talk to legal. Nobody wants to talk to legal.
No.
If
No.
you have to talk to legal, that's usually that's the start of a bad time. If you have to go to legal, you're having a bad time, and they're gonna try to help you out.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate legal. I don't like talking to legal.
Legal and NCIS. Those are the two people you never want to talk to in your Navy career. If you're talking NCIS, you got.
And then of
problems.
course there's yeah. There's 3 rates in the Navy that you don't want to piss off. You don't want to piss off PSs because they cook your food, culinary specialists.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss off LSs because they get you your supplies,
Yeah.
and you kind of need those to do your job. And you don't want to piss off PSs because we get you your pay.
That's true. Yeah.
If something's jacked up with your pay, who's the first person you're going to call? This guy.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. No. This guy right here. Right here, this guy.
So, I mean, you have a wife and you have a kid. I guess do you have multiple kids or just one kid? I guess I'm not sure.
I have a wife and I have 2 daughters. 17 and 12.
So they were with you very much.
AKA way too fucking old.
Yeah. So I mean, like they were with you pretty much during your entire Navy career then.
Yeah. Yeah. I made the decision to join initially because of my daughter, really.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I was working multiple part-time jobs, and my soon-to-be wife at the time had a full-time job, and we were paying bills and putting money on, and putting food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
But then we were trying to figure out how the fuck we were going to get to work the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, something needs to change.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
At the time, the more and more. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it was like the same situation for me. I was, living and working up in Fargo, North Dakota. I was working, 3 part-time jobs and just trying to pay bills, and like, shit just was not working. So I had to make a change, and that's when I decided to Roger up and join the Navy. But
it was the worst decision we've ever made.
well, no. So like the one thing I don't think I haven't told too many people about this, but I joined the Navy as a nuke initially.
Uh-huh.
So I went to like my first duty station after basic training was lovely NNPTC in Goose Creek, South Carolina. So that is the happiest place on earth for those of you who don't know. That's where your soul goes to die.
Sarcasm.
Yes. Yep.
I've
Exactly.
met I've met way too many nukes. So yeah.
Yep.
uh, Nukes have a reputation in the military, in the Navy anyways, as being quite honestly recluses. Because every single nuke that we've ever met spends their entire time down in the lower decks and never sees the sun.
Yeah. That's about it too. Like they always have to be babysitting that reactor and making sure the ship has power. So they never
Yep.
they never get to leave like
Yep.
the bowels of the ship. They just sit there constantly. So
Yeah. The nuclear always ended up getting screwed when it came time for Liberty Call and stuff like that too.
oh yeah. Yep, I've heard way too many stories about some of my classmates who made it through the program. But yeah, like this is how bad the nuke field is. I personally know people who turned down like a $90,000 reenlistment bonus, like nukes, Navy nukes who turned money down because they hated the job so much. Like 90 G's
Yeah.
they turned down. Like it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
The sign-on and reenlistment bonuses for nukes were crazy amounts of money.
Yeah, it was stupid
Like,
money, like house
You
money.
got guys signing 6-year contracts and getting $100,000.
Yeah,
Like that's crazy amounts of money.
yeah.
And for 6 years, I mean, that's in the long run, that's kind of nothing, really. Not for $100,000,
No, no,
just in your bank account.
yeah. I think most nukes realize like, hey, if I just take my skills that I have right now and go to the civilian world with my clearance, I can be making six figures every year, like without problem. Like, and so it's just
Yeah, and like people in the nuclear field, you can easily make like 500. You can easily make $500,000 a year
yeah.
doing a job like that. So yeah, so what happened if you don't mind me asking?
So my grades weren't good enough to stay in the program. Like, when you go to nuke school, they toss you pretty much right into electrical engineering and calculus. So with me not being like a strong math person, like I struggled from the start. So um,
I
they
feel
have
that. I feel
yeah.
that.
So they assign you like if your grades start slipping, they assign you a certain study plan. So like the maximum study plan was like 25 TAC 4. So 25 hours a week. And keep in mind this is in class study. Like you have to go to the Rickover building and you have to be in the classroom and you have to be like, 2-pack in your seat, like logging in and out, um, and have to be studying like 4 hours every day, for up to like 25 hours that week. So it's just like pretty much like zero weight to 1600 being in class. Like I'd go take a nap, I'd eat some chow, be back in the classroom like at 6 p.m., study until 10 p.m., and then of course get like my uniform ready for the
Hmm.
the next day, and then we'd be up at like, you zero dark 30, which was usually like 4:30 a.m., and then we'd be doing PT. Yeah, we'd be doing
Yeah.
PT at 4:30 a.m. Like do that for an hour,
Oh
go
God.
shower, go eat chow, and then go back to the classroom. Like that's pretty much like what Monday through Friday was for me. Um, for the almost what was it, 6 months that I was there. So yeah, nuke school is not easy. Like if you struggle right away, like it is going to be painful. So some people come into nuke school, they already have like electrical engineering experience, so they're just like, yep, homework's done. All right, see you later. Like as opposed to me, I'm just sitting there trying to figure this out on my own. Yeah, I had a couple
Yeah.
of I had a
All the
couple of
smart
roommates.
kids. All the
Yeah,
smart kids.
I had a couple of roommates who were like that. They pretty much showed up and it's like, oh, this is so easy. I love calculus. I love electrical engineering. Like assignment's done. It's like they leave, they go fuck off and enjoy the sunshine. As opposed to me, I'm like, sitting there staring. I'm sitting there staring at these equations. I'm like, I don't understand what this is. Like, so anyways, like I think had I like,
some of these was letters.
yeah. I'm pretty proud of the
Teacher,
fact,
some of these numbers are letters. I'm not really
yeah,
not really sure how I can add or subtract a letter.
yeah, it's like, Chief, I can't read Latin. I don't know what this is. It's like, okay. But yeah, I think had I done like a little bit of prep beforehand, I think I probably would have made it through. It was just the math part that like I stumbled at in the beginning, but yeah, I think it was all for the better.
I can totally understand that.
Yeah. But
I've never been very strong with math.
Yeah, but no, I think it all worked out for the
Basic
better.
math, like you tell me basic math, that's perfectly fine. I can add and subtract, even divide sometimes, no problem.
Yeah.
If you start mixing letters in there, it's just nope, not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Our A school was a lot simpler. I'll tell you a funny story. So for PS, part of our curriculum is we have to take a typing test because we have to. I mean, obviously, you're typing a lot.
Yeah.
So I get to the typing test, and I'm averaging like 60 some odd words a minute. Thing. Hang on. There we go. Teacher comes around, and she sees me, and I'm going to try to demonstrate what my typing technique is like.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much used only these 4 fingers and a little bit of the thumb, and that's it. And she's like, "That's a really unorthodox way of typing, but you're really fast. Where did you learn to type?" And I was like, "Online video games." I learned how to type playing CS:GO. I'm sorry, because you had to be quick. So if you wanted to get something across between rounds, you just had to.
Yeah.
And I could never do like the home keys thing. That doesn't work for me.
See, video games.
But that's just how I've always typed. And
yeah.
See. I learned something from video games. I learned how to type.
And there you
better,
go.
Anyways, because I was I was. I was hunting and pecking at the start. That's for sure. Just sitting there at the keyboard, like A, S, S.
Yeah.
That's you. Oh. So I mean, like, what would? All right, everybody's got at least. But I want to hear yours. So, everybody who's been in the military has at least one good boot camp story.
Oh, I've got a
one
lot.
Good, cool thing that happened to them during boot camp.
Oh, cool thing.
Cool, funny, whatever you want to call it. At least one good boot camp story.
Yeah, and I think I've told this one on stream before, and I'll tell it again. It's pretty gross, and it has to do with people in the showers. So as I'm sure you know, like you went through basic training, so you know that in the Navy in general, you have people from all walks of life that kind of come together, and with them they bring their own hygiene standards, so to speak. So, so I want to say it was like probably like within the first couple of days of basic training, like we're in the showers, and there's this one guy. I forgot his name. I didn't get close to too many people in basic training, but anyways, so like everyone's showering. Keep in mind you have like how many different people showering at the same time. It's like 24 dudes like in one area, but yeah, this dude is like showering,
yeah.
And then all of a sudden like he pops a squat, and he starts taking a dump in the shower. So yeah, and
oh god,
yeah. So he pops a squat and takes a dump like right there in the shower, and then like I think a lot of us were just kind of looking out the corner of our eyes like what did this actually just happen?
Like, did he just do what I think he did?
Yeah, so he did.
I'm not imagining this shit, right? He just did that, right?
Yeah, it's like we're all like standing there like watching, and then just without skipping a beat, like he takes his feet and then he like, waffle stomps.
Oh god!
Waffle stomps the turd
into
the drain.
Fucking turd down the drain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And And then yeah, just carries on as normal. Just like washes his crack and then like he he leaves. It's like I think after that point, like somebody went up to him and said like, "Hey man, like you can't be taking a shit in the shower. Like that's not.
You can't do that.
So,
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's just no.
Yeah.
Like no. I honestly, I mean, I will freely admit, I am definitely a man who will pee in the shower.
Sure.
I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah.
Maybe not in a room full of 20 other dudes, but I will totally pee in the shower. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
That's
I've
gross.
nothing but like gross stories from basic training. But yeah, that was the waffle stomp story.
I don't have many gross stories. I don't have many gross stories, but I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
But real quick, the first one, the one gross story I had. I was the one responsible for the sinks in the bathroom during boot camp, and we had so many people that would just go in there, just hawk massive fucking loogies and go right into the sink.
Oh,
and one day I just fucking had enough. I had enough. I think the RDCs were in the fishbowl, so whether they heard me or not, they didn't say anything to me after. But I just came out of the bathroom. It's like, would you fucking asshole stop spitting your goddamn lung butter in the sink? There's a fucking trash can 3 feet away. Spit it in the fucking trash can, you fucking animals. I don't want to clean your goddamn lung butter out of the fucking sinks.
Oh God. Yeah. So you get all types. You get all types in the military.
Yeah. All right. So, but as far as my one really good boot camp story, I think I've told this one on a stream. So if I have, apologies. But basically, so in boot camp, after you're going through the first couple of weeks of boot camp, and most of it is intake, and you're just learning things. You're getting all your vaccinations, blah 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 blah. But after about 2 weeks or so, you finally start doing watches. And watches in boot camp just consist of, you have a roving watch who is going to put stuff into the logbook every half hour to an hour, and then you have the night watch who just stands kind of like as a security checkpoint kind of deal. Anyway, so it's 2 weeks in. It's the very first night of watch, and they picked me and my bunkmate as the roving watch because for the first week you had to double up. So they picked me and my roommate for roving watch. And I remember before, it was right before lights out, I had somebody come up to me and so like, if we need to talk to an RDC in the middle of the night, like, what are we supposed to do? And I'm just sitting there looking at him like, I don't fucking know. Wait until morning, dude. Get back in your rack.
Yeah.
Get back in your rack. It's almost lights out. So like 30 minutes goes by, and at one point I'm bent over the logbook. I'm writing things down, and all of a sudden I hear the berthing door open. And in boot camp, you have the petty officer of the watch, whatever you are on, and during the night times and stuff, and they're the ones who are going to come in and check on you, and that's when things can go wrong. But you just got to go over there, you pop tall, and good evening, petty officer, blah blah blah. So I go over there and pop tall, and there's nobody there. So I look over at the night watch, and then I'm like, did somebody just come inside? And then they're like, no. I'm like, and then I stopped again. I'm like, did somebody just go out? Yeah. Well, why didn't you stop him? Well, we're the night watch. We're just supposed to stand right here.
Oh my God.
So we start arguing back and forth, and my bunkmate goes, I know, I'll go get the petty officer of the watch. So we've already had one person leave the berthing, and now we have a second person who's going to go get the petty officer of the watch. So, long story short, the petty officer watch comes in, does a quick muster, finds out somebody is missing. This part is not. This part is a rumor. I have no way of confirming this, but it was rumored that he was in his rack in the morning with McDonald's. That was the rumor.
Whoa!
If that is true, like, dude, again, I cannot confirm. That was just the rumor. My thinking is, honestly, if you couldn't wait fucking 8 weeks for a double cheeseburger, you probably shouldn't be here in the first place, man.
Yeah.
But whatever.
No.
Anyways, so it's the first night of... So keep in mind, we are 2 weeks into boot camp. And the very first night of roving watch, somebody left the berthing and went AWOL. Yeah. We think we are going to die. We are pretty certain that in the morning when RDCs come in, we're going to get on the black line, because they have this black line of tiles every single berthing. And if you were put to the black line, that means you were about to do some very rigorous PT.
Yep.
So, and sure enough, morning comes around, and the senior chief literally kicks the door into the berthing, just boom. Who the fuck was on roving watch last night?
Yeah.
Right here, Senior Chief. He comes over and he gets this close to my face and he just like, you did a good fucking job, sailor. I'm like, I'm sorry, Senior Chief, what? Like, somebody went missing, you notified the petty officer watch, you did a buster, you did exactly what you were supposed to do. Except next time, fucking call them. That's what we have a phone for. Bravo Zulu, you assholes.
Wow. Yeah,
and I'm just both me and my bunkmate. Well, both me and my bunkmate are sitting there like, permission to go change my underwear, Chief.
Emergency
like,
head calls.
There's more, but that. There was more stories, but that was the biggest one because I just could not get over. It's the very first night of roving watch. We seriously thought they're going to make it rain on us, and that is a phrase that they will use in boot camp because they call it making it rain. When they PT the berthing so hard that sweat starts to condense on the ceiling and drip down.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, like we did that a number of times, and it was even worse because in our berthing, the air conditioning like just never worked, and we're talking like it was Chicago middle of the summer. So, yeah, we got our asses beat down, and then on top of that, like, so we had to shine our boots to like a mirror shine before we got beat down,
mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, like they didn't let us shower before going to bed, so like we're all sweaty in our digi blues, and like there's like like all over the floor in the berthing, there's like a bunch of the black wax like just from our boots like scuffing everything. It's like, oh my god, it was dumb.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's like there was like condensation like on the walls and on the ceilings. It was gross. It was fucking gross. But yep.
I was there at the tail end of winter, so it was actually nice and cold when I was there. Saw a little bit of snow, but so thankfully I didn't have to go outside. We didn't have to go outside and shovel it or anything. But
yeah,
but yeah, it was nice. It was nice and chill. I joined boot. When did you join boot camp? How old were you when you joined?
Let's see. So it was 2011. So I joined a little bit later in life. What was I, 25, I think? Yeah.
But you did something similar that I did. I joined it. I turned 27 the day before boot camp graduation.
Damn.
So, okay. I was in the drill hall on boot camp graduation going, happy birthday to me. I can finally get done with this shit.
Yeah. My God. And then, of course, once you graduate,
and then
they ship your ass out to wherever you got to go.
Yeah. Got shipped off to Mississippi, Meridian. Meridian, Tennessee. That's where my boot camp was.
Okay.
And in Meridian, it was the middle. It was at the beginning of spring. So I went from really cold to really humid in a day. So that was really weird. The fun part, though, is we got there on a Friday, and by the time we finished our tour, it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the instructor, the RDC, the instructor looked over at us and was like, the instructor looks over and he goes, "All right, well, classes start on Monday. You got to be here this time for muster. So just make sure you're there on time." And I'm just sitting there like, after 10 weeks of boot camp, I'm just like, so just to be clear, so we don't have anywhere else that we need to go and report to before Monday? And he's like, no. Okay, cool. I promptly went to my rack and I slept for 14 hours straight.
Damn.
I hit the rack. I got undressed because at that time I didn't have to share a room at the moment. I got into the bed and I conked out 14 hours straight. Did not wake up until the very next morning.
Damn, that's impressive. I wish I could do that nowadays.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe. But after 10 weeks of getting hardly any sleep, because that's the thing, you're hardly going to get any sleep at all during boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have bedtimes, but you don't really get to go to bed most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, there's always going to be something. And you always got to get up early the next day to go do, hey, we're doing pistol quals in the morning, so we got to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I know you guys went to bed 30 minutes ago, but hey, it's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you're going to go operate a firearm now.
So you want me to hand
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
on less than an hour of sleep? Yeah, smart move.
yeah, genius. Well, I mean,
Honestly,
the Navy,
I'm surprised.
The Navy's known for making a lot of really good decisions like that. So, you know.
Oh yeah. That's sarcasm.
Yeah.
The very first lesson I learned in the Navy was if it makes sense, you're doing it wrong.
Pretty much.
Chief, wouldn't it be easier to clean up this water if we had like squeegees or mops? Shut up and keep sweeping, recruit.
Yeah, sweep. Sweep was.
Why do I have a broom to clean up water? It makes no sense.
Yeah, this makes no sense. What am I doing? It's like, well, welcome to the Navy.
Exactly.
And I guess I didn't ask this before, but so why did you choose the Navy as opposed to, I don't know, like any other branch?
Well, admittedly, I was actually going to go for the Army first.
Okay.
Huh? I could hear Silk in the background go say, don't tell that story.
Oh, no.
Yes, dear. Yeah, I tried for the Army first, and that didn't work out for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, those same reasons did not exclude me from the Navy.
Okay.
So, and honestly, I without going into the full story, I will say when I first found out I couldn't join the Army, at that point, I was desperate and I was devastated because that's where our condition was at the time. But he basically said, "Hey, this reason right here doesn't stop you from joining the Navy, and I have a friend who works at the Navy recruiting office, so I'm just going to forward him all the paperwork you did with us to him, and he's going to take care of you from here." And I was all right, cool. Yeah. And the rest is history, and I joined the Navy.
Okay, gotcha.
They tried to make me a CS, and I said, I am a father. I already cook enough at home. I don't need to do more cooking.
Mm-hmm.
They then tried to make me a undesignated engineering rate.
Oh, no.
And for those of you at home, the general rule of thumb is you don't want to go into the Navy as undesignated.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't be undez.
That is a recipe. That is a recipe for disaster. Honestly.
Yeah,
go in, pick a job.
You will hate life if you're undez, because you're gonna be painting rust, painting dust, doing other undesirable
taking
stuff.
off, peeling off barnacles, grinding down rust, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they also offered me MM and PS. And at first I was going to go MM.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I'll be an MM. And that's a machinist mate. So basically maintenance, working on the engines and shit. And he said, yeah, I'm going to be a machinist mate. And I'm going to be manly. And I'm going to turn wrenches, get dirty. And so she started putting it in. And I remember thinking to myself, I got this little head like Chubbs, you're going to hate this. You are going to hate every second of this. Stop her. Stop her now. Is it too late to change?
Yeah.
She said no.
Before they keep typing too much.
PS. PS. We'll go PS, please. Which in the end worked out a lot better anyways, because I already had a big customer service background, and that in essence is really what being an admin is. You're just customer service.
Yeah.
You're just helping people out with their paychecks. Reason again. There it goes. I wish my connection didn't do that all the time. Oh, yeah. In all honesty, there's some things I miss, and some things I don't. And admittedly, and to be fair, there are more things that I don't miss than I do miss. But for me, the biggest thing that I miss about being in the military was the stability. That's the biggest thing. Because contrary to popular belief, they like to say that, we take care of our veterans and we're going to take care of you and make sure that you have all your needs met and everything's going to be fine. And they say, and those are all real nice words. But when you get out, you find that more often than not, that's all they are. They're just words. Like, when it comes time to needing real assistance with things, there's no guarantee you're going to get the kind of help that you need. Like, it's like oh yeah, well, we got programs where we can help you get a certificate and get like a new job and stuff like that. Yeah, well, a certificate doesn't help me pay my fucking rent. So can y'all help with that? No?
Yeah.
But then why are we talking?
Yeah.
I can honestly say that is the biggest thing that I missed was the stability, because we did base housing most of my career. I was actually, no, my entire career. There was no most. We always did base housing because it's pretty much always there. I always knew while I was in the military that I was going to get a paycheck on the 1st and the 15th.
Yep.
And I always was always going to have a roof over my head no matter what happened. And I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part.
Mm.
I can honestly say that's the hardest part. Because out in the real world, you don't get any. There's no stability. It's. I myself, I live in an at-will state. So if my employer decides to, for no clear reason whatsoever, they can just go, "Hey, we don't need you anymore. Have a good day."
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
And there is nothing that I could do about it. That's the biggest thing I miss.
Yeah, as well as TRICARE.
Yeah, that too. Well, being medically retired, I still have that, thankfully.
Okay.
So I'm good to go on that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but for everything else, yeah, it's just you don't get the same level of stability and security,
Mm-hmm.
and the little things that I miss on top of that, like they're small in comparison. I do miss the camaraderie sometimes, like just because there's just an instant kind of. We hadn't even said 2 words together,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 words to each other in your chat when I first met you. And the moment I mentioned that I was Navy, you were like, "We need to connect off stream."
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is. Yeah. So like there's definitely a definite camaraderie for not just Navy, honestly, any military, but
Mm-hmm.
there's just a camaraderie on your average civilian job, for example. And I do miss the deployment, but only the good parts of them.
Yeah.
Only the good parts.
Yeah.
Being able to go out and see cool stuff and do cool experiences. Like my favorite port was Palma.
Oh.
We went to
Spain.
Palma de Mallorca, Spain.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
That was by far my favorite port. For those of you at home, Palma de Mallorca, Spain, is a popular destination for Europeans for tourism and stuff. So, for one, I didn't meet anybody there that did not speak English. So we would walk into shops and they would start off in Spanish, but then as soon as they would realize that we were Americans off the ship, they'd be like, "Oh," immediately switch over to English and help everybody out without any problems.
Yeah.
It was beautiful because it's also an island in the middle of the Mediterranean out there in Spain, as part of Spain. So crystal clear blue waters. It was just a gorgeous place.
Mm-hmm.
And the food. Oh my goodness, the food.
Yeah.
Yes, Bibble. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get the cable to my controller? You can't have the cable to my controller. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I feel claws on my lap because he's trying to get the thing attached to the controller. I had a fresh seafood paella out there. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. And a fun thing is about Palma is because it's a high tourism spot, they definitely wanted to take care of us Americans because we're spending money.
Mm-hmm.
Every single bar that you went to was doing some sort of drink special.
Ooh, okay. That's dangerous. that can be very dangerous.
To a bar. Yeah. We would walk into a bar on Liberty, and with every drink you would get a free drink. And I'm not saying when I say a free drink, I don't mean like they would give you a free bottle of beer or they would give you a free shot. I'm talking they would give you a free cocktail of your choice, served in a pitcher this big.
Yeah. Didn't hold back at all. Be like,
for free.
Can I get one more of these, please? Hey, waitress, can I get one more of these, please? That kind of thing.
Like, could I have a Budweiser? Sure. And here's your Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, exactly. in a 64-ounce pitcher.
My second night, my second night there, we ran into a stag party from the UK.
Oh, nice.
All right, you know what a stag party is?
Yeah, bachelor party. Yeah.
All right, for those at home, it's the UK version of a bachelor party, and we're sitting at a bar, and this guy walks up to us, and he's got this thick British accent. He's like, "Oh, you lads with the ship out in the harbor?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're Americans or sailors."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's great, my mate is getting married. Why don't you come hang with us for a little while, celebrate?" And we did not pay for a single drink the rest of the night.
Nice.
And we did eventually. Once the guys in the stag party started taking clothes off, that's when we were like, okay, well, we're going to calmly make our exit now. We're going to go back to the ship before we get into real trouble.
Yeah. Before Shore Patrol shows up.
Oh, God, Shore Patrol. Nobody likes Shore Patrol. And being on Shore Patrol is the worst.
Yep. Oh, you're the party.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than being on Shore Patrol when all you want to do is go and get a beer, and you can't because you're on Shore Patrol.
Yeah. Yep. So Shore Patrol, for those of you who don't know, in the Navy, there are certain lovely individuals who are selected to police other sailors out in town. So if you're caught doing something you shouldn't be doing, and Shore Patrol shows up, you're in trouble. So
that's right. That's about it.
That's
usually when, at least on my deployments, they were always wearing like blue or yellow polo shirts. So we constantly be on the lookout. Like, you guys see any blue or yellow?
Yeah.
No. All right, we're in the clear.
Yep. Shots. Shot.
Shot.
Yeah.
Oh, alcohol.
Drink to the foam. True Navy style.
And that's usually what most people would do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had good times in Bahrain with every single visit there.
Yeah, not a bad place.
Since you were stationed out there, do you remember the name? Do you remember Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's.
Pretty certain that's the name of it. It was like off the beaten path. For those of you at home,
not on American Alley.
Not on American Alley.
Okay.
For those of you at home, on the Bahrain base for the Navy, they have the main section of the base, and you can easily spend your entire time there if you wish. But if you want to go off the base, immediately off of it, they have what they called American Alley, and it would just be a bunch of American-themed restaurants and just little tastes of home, like TGI Fridays and Burger King and shit like that.
Starbucks.
And personally,
yep.
Yeah. Now, this is my personal opinion, but if you are going to go on deployment and you are going to go to another country, and the very first thing that you want to do is go to a fucking Starbucks, you are a boring person.
Shame.
Legit. You are just a boring person. You are in a brand new country, a brand new city. Starbucks. Mm-hmm. Like, why? Like, you can go 3 blocks that. Speak a lick of English and have a better cup of coffee than you're going to have anywhere else.
Yeah.
Anyways, but there was another spot that was off American Alley a couple of blocks, and I want to say it was Buc-ee's. It could have been something different, but basically it was just a smaller hotel bar, and that was our spot. That's where me and my buddies would always end up going to because it was off the beaten path. There weren't a bunch of squids there, and you could just go and relax. And they took real good care of you. Like, there's time. There were times where friends would buy a round of drinks, and like 20 minutes later, the waitress is bringing out an entire tray of additional drinks for free just because we're there spending money.
Damn, that's nice.
So that's where we always went whenever we were in Bahrain.
Yeah.
But seriously though, like, that was a big thing for me because they say when you're in the Navy, you pick your Liberty buddies carefully. Mm-hmm. And that is 100% true. But it's also not just for safety. It's also so that you can have a good time in another country too. Again, I am in France or Italy or Spain or Bahrain or Dubai or wherever. the last place I want to go to eat is a fucking McDonald's, with the exception of in Marseille, because I went to McDonald's purely so that I could order a beer with my meal.
Yep. The foreign McDonald's.
Which after 2 months at sea, the first sip, oh, this is the best beer I've ever tasted. The second sip, oh god, it's fucking Heineken.
Oh yep. I was gonna say that was like for the bar that was close to me in Bahrain. Like they had this one beer from India. It was called Taiga. It was like tiger piss.
Oh my god, Taiga.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they had that. That was
I'm
the
familiar
cheap
with
beer.
Taiga.
Yeah, they had the cheap beer, which was Taiga, and then they had Heineken. That was it. That's all they had. So it's like not too many options.
So it's a choice between a bottle of piss and shit or just piss. Either way, you're still drinking piss.
Yeah, either way, you're paying too much money for Heineken, or what have you. So.
Yeah. And then my opinion is that if you're going to be out on deployment and you're going to see all these things, is go out and experience things. Mm-hmm. If you ever are in the Navy and you end up on deployment, go talk to your MWR office, take one of their tours, go see something that you would never see at home. Like, I personally couldn't afford them, but they had tours in Dubai to go swim with fucking dolphins. Mm-hmm. $200, and you could go swim with the fucking dolphins.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get that anywhere else, not for $200 at least.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a small fortune. And Disneyland.
Yeah, and it's like, and people would get there to Marseille and be like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to go to TGI Fridays."
Oh God,
you're a boring person. Yeah. You're a boring person if that is your idea of a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
That is my strong opinion. Go out, find new things, try boiled camel penis just because you're not going to be able to do it anywhere else.
Eat it in one bite.
Shit like that. And like just hork the whole thing down. Just,
yes. I love this freeze frame. I want to freeze frame this right here.
Just hork the whole thing down. It'll be crazy.
Yeah. No, I think probably. Yeah. I think probably the most exotic thing that I had in Bahrain. Well, one of the more exotic things was camel burger. So it was kind of greasy.
Mm-hmm. And I bet that burger tasted fucking good, didn't it?
It was pretty damn good. Yeah.
I bet it's like greasy, sure, but I bet it tasted good.
Yeah.
I would say amongst these strange things that I was given the opportunity to try on deployments, seafood, the fresh seafood paella was up there just because I'd never had paella before, and I'm getting it from the fucking source.
Yeah.
Awesome.
From the ocean directly into the pot. Yeah, it's like can't get better than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then honestly, I can't really think. I don't think I actually had the opportunity to try any real strange foods out there. There was definitely in Dubai. If you ever in the Navy and you're in Dubai, every single Dubai short liberty, they would do what's known as the Sunset Safari, and it's like $40. And I highly, highly recommend that if you ever end up in Dubai on deployment, you do it. Because basically what they would do is the MWR would put you into a bunch of Jeeps, and you would literally drive across the sand dunes in Dubai, which basically was like a fucking roller coaster. It was awesome.
Yep.
And then towards the end of the day, you'd end up at this little oasis where they'd have live entertainment, and they had food, and I've got videos on my phone of just cool stuff. I got to take pictures with a falcon, and I got to ride a camel. Mm-hmm. And then I'd go back, and then I'd be done with these tours, and I would go back to the sandbox in Dubai, and be like, "What have you guys been doing all day?" "Oh, we sat here and drank." I mean, okay, good for you.
Yeah, you can do
glad
that.
You had a good time, but
yeah,
if you were home right now, you would be doing the exact same thing. Go do shit.
Yeah,
just go do stuff.
Yeah,
that was and so I would always be very, very particular with my Liberty buddies because of that.
Yeah. They can either make you or break you.
Too many good times.
They can have you
Yeah.
enjoy good times, or they can get you into a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've there's we had just as many. I kept clean. Like I managed to get through both deployments, no trouble and stuff like that. But there are other people who did not have the same luck or, frankly, intelligence to not get in trouble. There was one guy that got caught breaking into the locals' houses.
Are you kidding?
And did not get found out until he was found on some random fucking stranger's couch, drunk and passed out after he had literally busted the door down.
Wow. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. One guy attached the supply officer on the one of our other ships, literally attacked the guy. Like,
oh my god. Not everybody.
Ultimately, it really could not everybody. Yeah, exactly. Not everybody is cut out for it.
No.
Not everybody can handle the pressures that come along with it, because there's no denying that they say choose your rate, choose your fate. As an admin person, I didn't have a whole lot of problems. I didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities in the sense of, like, say, for example, somebody like you. I didn't have the same level of responsibilities that you did. But there's still certain things that I knew to stay away from and then not bother with. And some people did not have that same luxury.
No. Nope.
Common sense is not issued as part of a sea bag, unfortunately.
No, the antifungal foot spray is, though.
Yeah. And Lord knows you're gonna fucking need it.
Oof. Oh God.
Yeah, they never stop to consider, like, what might happen to your feet if you were to leave them in boots for about 9 months straight.
Yeah, the shittiest boots on planet Earth, by the way. Like those boots are the ones that gave me plantar fasciitis. Like that's how I got plantar fasciitis, was those goddamn Bates boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, lovely.
I got what is it they call it? Dyshydrotic eczema because of those boots.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I know how you feel.
It's lovely. It really is lovely. So Chubbs, we've been sitting here talking for
I don't know
for like more than an hour now. Pretty much like all about Navy stuff, and I didn't get a chance to ask you like the question, like how did you become a furry?
That's right, because I kind of forgot that's kind of the whole point of this. My bad.
Yeah, it can be pretty much be whatever.
I just figured this was going to end up being two sailors just sharing, swapping sea stories and being assholes. But
yeah, well, that's majority that has been that.
I can pin down my furry awakening to a single moment.
Okay.
One word, 2 syllables. Roxanne.
Really? Okay. I was gonna guess Robin Hood, but okay, Roxanne. Gotcha.
No. Goofy movie.
Wow.
13-year-old me sitting in the movie theater watching a Goofy movie, and Roxanne comes on screen, and I'm sitting there going, "Gee, I hope this doesn't awaken something in me."
Yeah. Lo and behold.
that was the moment that I ultimately, my furriness, I 100% blame Disney. 100%. Yep. I am a Disney fanatic. I love Disney. I grew up on Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
At one point I've owned almost every single Disney movie ever made on VHS. And it was just, that was my thing, and it was nothing but anthro characters. So of course my curious little fucking mind would go, "Oh, I wonder if I can find more characters like this. She doesn't have clothes. What?"
Ooh.
And then there you go. And like, "I have strange feelings now."
Yeah.
Why does that cat look hot?
Yeah. What is this feeling I feel now? I'm different inside. What's going on?
What are these strange sensations? Why do my pants feel tighter? What is going on?
Yeah. What is this? What's happening to me? Okay. So I guess
100%.
Yeah, so that was your awakening, and then when did you officially join the fandom and create your Sona and things like that?
be 100% honest with you. While I fully identify as a furry, I did not have an official persona, until I decided to start streaming.
Really?
Until I decided that I wanted to be a streamer and I wanted to go the route of a VTuber and have a model, and that was the time. That was basically the moment where I was like, that's where I came up with Chubbs the Minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, because for me, for coming up with my persona, it was multiple things. One, at that point when I decided to start streaming, I already had a decent following on TikTok, and I got my start with that, doing just silly D&D related skits and TTRPG stuff, because I have a very big background in D&D and TTRPGs in general.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so I was thinking of ways like, what can this tie into my persona? What can I do with this? Like, okay, D&D, fantasy monsters, Minotaur. I'm a literal Taurus. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the design is concerned, I didn't even really put much into that either, to be 100% honest with you. Like, that was mostly my artist. When I came up with the idea and found the artist I wanted to make my PNGs, Nymora TT on Twitter, if you ever want to look her up. Art Mom is great. I love Art Mom. But all I had was some basic ideas. I was like, I want to be a Minotaur of like a Scottish Highland variety, warm colors, and that's all I got. And she was like, I can work with that.
Yep.
And she gave me the first sketches of her design. Yeah, she gave me the first. I loved her design from the start, and that was, boom. That's my persona right there.
Yep.
That is it. She even made my wife's persona.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I ever showed you a picture of my wife's persona. Because my wife discovered the fandom. My wife discovered the fandom through me, so she made her own persona as well. But I've never been the type of furry. Like, I don't have any desire to dress up in a fursuit, for example. And no shade whatsoever. I just don't have the desire to do it. If that's you, by all means, I love looking at your fursuits because they're all so fucking cute. Mm-hmm. I, however, cannot help but think that I would sweat my balls off in one, and that does not sound like a pleasant experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'd rather not do the fursuit. It's just never been a desire for me. And as far as the fursona is concerned, like I tend to enjoy a lot of content more on a surface level. Like I've never been big into fandoms or collecting stuff or shipping and things like that. It's just not my thing. Like I'll enjoy content for what it is, and just move on to the next thing I want to watch or listen to. So I enjoyed anthro characters. I enjoyed anthro art, and Disney movies and just the fandom as a whole from a surface level. So yeah, that's really cool stuff. I like looking at that. That's really cute. And then I move on about my day. It wasn't until I started streaming where I was like, I should probably put some real thought into this. My wife absolutely loved it. She loved my design the moment I showed it to her. Mm-hmm. And I loved it too. So like, honestly, big props to Nymora because she pretty much gave me my persona for all intents and purposes, which is not a big titty yeen, just so you know.
Yes, this is not the Chubbs.
This is proxy. This is just a cute big titty yeen because yeens are cute.
With jiggle physics, by the way. There's actually jiggle physics here, so yeah, there we go.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yep. Very nice.
I mean, how could you not enjoy that? How could you look at that and be like, this I don't like this. This is horrible. Why would I want to look at this at all? How could you do that? I don't understand.
Exactly.
But and that's the whole thing. Like I've had the argument before with people who are like just want to spread hate or like don't want to understand about the furry fandom and stuff. And honestly, partially because I'm a fucking degenerate, and mostly because it's true. Mm-hmm. But I've always had the argument that, look, think of it like this. Like, we're not saying like, oh, you like touching animals and blah, blah. No, that's not what it's about. It's about anthro characters, a mix of human and animal into a cool, sometimes sexy package. And the way that I explained it to him in this particular time that I'm thinking of is he was basically, I don't know how you can find that attractive at all. All right, let's speak purely hypothetical. Imagine, if you will, you are in the room with a female who just so happens to have cat-like features, fur, and a tail. Everything else about them is completely identical to the normal human anatomy. Every single bit. All the bits and pieces are the exact same. She just has fur and a tail, and kind of looks like a cat. Where's the issue?
Yeah.
like I had to explain it. Like, so you're telling me that if you had a willing woman built to your quote unquote specifications, the type of your preferences, a woman, your ideal woman who just happens to have, cat-like features and a tail and fur.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that person, this hypothetical figure, wants to do activities with you, and you're going to say no? And at that point, it's like, well, I mean, when you put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when
he didn't have anything for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, the just like with any other fandom, and again, keep in mind this is coming from somebody who tends to enjoy this stuff on a surface level. But just with any other fandom, the furry fandom is deep and vast, and there's more facets to it than people even realize. Like, I have no desire to dress up in a fursuit. There's a huge part of the community that is the whole point of them joining the furry community is to dress up in those fursuits.
Yeah.
And that's how they choose to enjoy the fandom. I choose to enjoy the fandom from a surface level. They want to go feel really hot in a suit for hours on end at conventions, which, oh god, that'd be torture for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was just at Denver over the weekend, and of all the fursuiters that I gave hugs to, pretty much everybody I gave a hug to, it's like, oh, sweat. Yep, there's sweat. So it's like you can't escape it. Yeah. You can't escape it.
Yeah, you are soaked. If I grabbed your tail and wrung, I'm pretty certain I would create a puddle.
Yep, exactly.
Like I for one would not find that experience enjoyable, but I have zero shade against the people that do. Ultimately, it's the same as with so many other things in life. If it doesn't affect your personal life, why the fuck do you care?
Some people have nothing else better to do.
If I may for a moment, if you have a problem with anybody else for any reason based around race, religion, sexual orientation, whether or not they like anthropomorphic animals, if any of what they are doing somehow upsets you, even though what they are doing has zero effect on your personal life, I don't understand why you're upset. Like, those people over there are doing exactly what 2, 3, sometimes 4 consenting adults choose to do, and their actions have zero effect on your personal life. So why are you concerned?
Yeah.
Why does this affect you so much that you feel the need to spout hate and rhetoric, just frankly just stupid shit pouring out of your face? Not you. You is all right most of the time, I think.
Sometimes.
I think maybe.
Sometimes I'm tolerable.
I mean, but he is a sailor, so I mean, who knows? 1 second.
I shall do a little dance for people.
All right. Sorry. Talking to the whiff.
Oh, okay, got you.
All right. So, did you have any other questions or anything else inquiring minds wish to know?
Well, I do, but I tell you what, we've been talking for a while. We could probably break this into like another conversation at a different time. I mean, I think we've definitely did a deep dive into the Navy and kind of scratched the surface a little bit on furry stuff. So I don't know. I think we're good for right now. I mean, is there anything else you want to say to anybody who's watching this and want to tell the Chubbs story? Message to all
All
your
right, all
fans
right.
out
I got
there.
this. I got this. I got this.
Yeah.
I got.
Okay.
I got this.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna try to get down to your level here,
Damn.
which is hard to do at a chair. All right. All right. All right. You hear me out there? You right there. You. You matter. Okay. You are loved. You are important. And don't let anybody, even your own brain, tell you that you're not. That's all I got.
There we go. I like that message. I like that message.
I want to be positive and do positive stuff because, yeah, there's too much negativity in the world, you know? There's too much negative shit. And I want to try to be basically my goal every day with my streams and my content is when you interact with my, when, or you share the same sentiments, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I just want you to feel a little bit better than you did before you watched it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. As long as I can do that, I am content. As long as I can make your day just a little bit brighter and a little bit better, I consider myself accomplished. That's my feelings. Yeah.
Yes.
But we can definitely do this another time and kind of like talk more furry shit instead of just talking Navy shit all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to for sure. I mean, it's been. I gotta check the time here, but like, my goodness, almost an hour and a half. We've just been bullshitting. So it's yeah, it was an awesome conversation. We definitely could have gone on for I think probably another hour and a half easy, just talking about Navy stuff alone. But,
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll have to do part 2 sometime in the future, of course. But yeah, I think for,
I agree.
But yeah, I think for right now, we'll go ahead and we'll just we'll do a sign off. So yeah, everybody out there watching, thank you so much for this the second edition of Bull in a China Shop in VR. Ooh. So I'm definitely gonna be trying to do more of these episodes in VR in the future. And yeah, I want to say thank you again so much, Chubbs, for being my guest. You were awesome to talk to, and it's nice to have a fellow sailor, in the mix. Finally, got to save the best for last. Have the Navy sailor.
Exactly. You know what Army really stands for?
No.
Ain't really Marines yet.
There we go. And then of course
and Navy is never again volunteer yourself.
That's right. NAVY, never again volunteer yourself. There we go. But yeah, everybody, thank you. Yeah, thank you again so much for watching. And then once again, Chubbs, thank you so much for being my guest. Really appreciate it. And we're definitely gonna have you come back on the show. I guess we'll try and shake hands. Oh, we're gonna do boops.
I'm gonna boop your snoot. I'm just gonna boop your snoot.
There we go. I guess I'll just do
boop,
that.
boop, boop.
There we go. So yes. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of Bull in a China Shop, whenever that may be. But yeah, bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for doing this, dude.